You, Mr. Mark Rogers, for that. Okay, so Kirk Ferentz shared his thoughts from what he saw from quarterback Mark Gronowski from Kids Day and just his early impressions of QB1 so far.
He's been good. Yeah, it's every day's been good, and his judgment's really impressive. Like, he did some things there. You can tell he's on top of things. There are a couple throws maybe that were really good, and then a couple that are just like that. And 5 days ago it was like that. So he's closing that gap, and just again, mostly just so impressed with the way he operates and the way he carries himself. He's got a real, a genuine confidence, and it's earned. And you can tell he's thinking the right way out there. It's really impressive. No, he just needs work. I'm on the train. I think I'm sold on him and sold on the other guys. I like what we're seeing here. So it literally is a much healthier situation we've been in. But they're all progressing, and I think the biggest thing what you see of Mark today, I'm guessing will look better next Saturday, and then. Actually, the second Saturday we probably won't be practicing, but that 3 weeks from now, he should be playing a little better, and I think he'll just keep getting better during the year.
And that's the idea, right? Is just keep getting that little bit better as you count down to kickoff. And frankly, Zach, will need to see better from Mark Gronowski. I have been banging on that drum and playing that trumpet for a little while now, leading up to Kids Day and certainly coming out of it, that I wasn't going to get too high, too low based on what we saw from Mark Gronowski at Kids Day. I expected to see some rust from the quarterback, Mark Gronowski, but I hoped we'd see some highlights too. I hoped we'd see some of what we thought had been lacking from this Iowa offense, and really on a couple of throws to Seth Anderson, to Reese Vander-Zee, and some others in there as well. We saw that from Mark Gronowski, but we did see some of the rust. The interception, right? Okay, you can get into the blame game. Where do you fully place the blame there? Some of the other inaccuracies. Mark Gronowski will need to be better than what we saw from Mark Gronowski at Kids Day, but nothing I saw from Kids Day leads me to believe that Iowa suddenly doesn't have the quarterback that they thought they got out of the transfer portal.
Yeah, and I appreciate Kirk Ferentz's his system of measuring Mark Gronowski's accuracy, where he was this close at Kids Day compared to this close 5 days ago. I really, it's a mathematical fact right there from Kirk Ferentz. So I appreciated that. But I mean, you hit it on the spot right there. Like, he didn't do anything that would bring pause to or concern to Hawkeye fans about his ability to elevate the offense in 2025. I think you saw some of the highs, and you saw some of the peaks he can bring. You saw some valleys as well, and that should be expected at the Kids Day practice. Like, it's not gonna Mark Gronowski's not gonna come out of the gate, throwing for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns. Maybe against Albany, I don't know, with the FCS school, but it's good to keep expectations in check with him. And I think this Kids Day practice did a really good job of that. Where we see the good, and now we see some other things that we want to fix. And so I think it's good for expectations, and it's good that we kind of know what we're going to get from Mark Gronowski heading into the season, and not to expect perfection. I think that's really important for Iowa fans, just to keep expectations in check with what you want to see from Mark Gronowski. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to throw interceptions. It's going to happen. But the overall hope is that he elevates this offense from the improvement that it was last year to all of a sudden, can this be a good or potentially even great offense? I think that's what you're hoping for from Mark Gronowski. And so I think we saw some of the really good things that are exciting Hawkeye fans, and we saw some of the other things that want to get the rust out right now. And so I think Kirk Ferentz is pretty spot on with his analysis of Mark Gronowski at Kids Day.
Okay, you I believe have written a preview story of the season opener, so that might have been the research that will help you with this. Ed says, what state is Albany in? Do you know without looking it up?
I believe New York. I believe it's in Albany, New York.
The Great Danes of Albany from New York. Ding, ding,
I'm
ding,
pretty
ding.
sure am I right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Perfect. I was like, I think it's from New York. I wasn't quite sure about that, but yeah. FCS school, Albany Great Danes, making the trip all the way from New York to Iowa City here in a couple of weeks.
Tom and Mary Casey Stadium, the site for the Albany Great Danes, the home venue for Albany. That, of course, the season opening opponent for the Hawkeyes. So one of the other standouts, I thought, from Kids Day was the young running back, Nathan McNeil, who continues to flash and show that he could be pretty advanced, Zach, for his early Hawkeye career. And Kirk Ferentz said, yeah, Nathan McNeil's just kind of been a different type of dude from the first moment they started recruiting him, and obviously met the family as well.
Really, since January, he got here, and it's a good, not to diminish, the value of recruiting, but I can't remember where he was going, but he came up for a game October, early November with his dad, and got to meet with him afterwards. Just really impressed with both people. The dad played Florida, South Florida, when they were starting the program with Jim Levitt, so he played for Jim. And boy, I tell you, he and his wife are just a really impressive couple. She came up in December. We were really impressed with him. Thought he's a good player. And how much do you think he weighs? If you're guessing, if you were the guy at the circus,
175, 180.
Right, he's over 200 pounds.
Really?
I would have said 180 just looking at him and equipment, but he weighs 200 pounds. He's done a really good job. Yeah, so he's a really mature guy, and his mom and dad are just great people. So yeah, just really happy he's here.
By the way, I loved the kids sprinting around on the football field in the previous clip, talking about Mark Gronowski.
It's Kids Day, yeah. Right on cue.
What struck you there, Coach, talking about McNeil and Nathan's family?
Yeah, I mean, it's the sneaky size of Nathan McNeil. He talks about him. You would assume he was 175, 180. And he's actually listed at 203 on Iowa's official website for the roster this year. 5'11", 203. So it's great size for a running back right there, especially as a true freshman in Nathan McNeil. And that's someone that it's very clearly a person that the Iowa coaching staff has really grown to like over this offseason. And it's really hard for true freshmen at any level, but especially at a developmental program like Iowa. It's really hard for true freshmen to get significant playing time, in their first year in the program. And so the fact that he's flashing already and is a really good sign for his prospects of playing. I don't think they break the red shirt this year unless he's just outstanding. And if he goes out there and it's, man, you cannot have this guy off the field, maybe, but I think that's someone that you would love to keep a red shirt on, especially with Kamari Moulton graduating after this season. You're gonna have some more question marks about that running back room. Am I right that Moulton's a senior? I don't want to assume that he's graduating if he's a junior. I can't remember what he is exactly.
Kamari?
Yes,
he's a pup, man. He's a sophomore.
Really? Gosh, I feel like he's been around the program forever.
Well,
I was dead wrong about that. I don't know why I thought he was a senior. It seems like he's been around for so long. That's my bad right there.
Good news for you.
So Iowa's running back room is a lot younger than I thought. So who knows? Maybe McNeil not so worried about the redshirt year with him now. But I really think it's someone where it's still hard for these true freshmen to get on the field and contribute a lot during their true freshman year. And so I think he'll really have to impress in those first 4 games. But it's a really great sign that he's kind of winning over the coaching staff already. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's one of those first options off the bench against Albany. And I think he'll play pretty significant snaps in that second half against Albany and really show what he can do, albeit behind most likely a backup or third string offensive line. But it's great news when you have a true freshman that's already impressing the coaching staff and was able to show some flashes at Kids Day.
So you've got in that running backs room, you've got Jazz Patterson's he's the old guy as a junior. So that's your old guy there. You've got Moulton, we talked about as a redshirt sophomore. TJ Washington, Terrell Washington Jr. is a part of that running back room, but he can do a lot of different things for Iowa. If they want to line him up, he obviously worked last year a little bit at wide receiver. So if they wanted to put him out at the slot at times, I'm sure they could do that. Though it sounds like the plan is just exclusively in the backfield, at least for the most part. He's a sophomore, and then you got the couple of redshirt freshmen in there: Xavier Williams, Braven Dahl, and then the freshman McNeil and Braden Jackson, the walk-on freshman. So, relatively a younger group. Patterson, again, is that, I guess, elder statesman of the group right there. Kamari Moulton and Terrell Washington Jr., we didn't get a look at them, but you know how I feel about Kamari Moulton. I think he's going to be dynamite. I agree with your assessment right there. I think that Nathan McNeil absolutely has a chance to get some serious carries, some serious playing time, certainly against Albany and UMass in those early season non-conference games. I'd love to see Iowa get creative with Terrell Washington Jr. in those games as well. That's a good opportunity to get some of these guys that aren't named Kamari Moulton or Jazz Patterson, the football. We don't totally know what we have with Kamari Moulton or Patterson, but you got a much better idea because you've seen more of those guys. So assuming things go according to plan and Gronowski goes out there and he connects on a couple of deep balls to Anderson and to Gill and to Reese Vanderzeen, you run it up a little bit, you got an opportunity to really, with a number of your skill guys, Zach, get a ton of young guys and different playmakers, hopefully a look versus Albany. And I would imagine that, yes, Nathan McNeil, he should be one of those guys